Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And this is my Fantasy Premier League team selection for game week 10. Obviously, I love playing Fantasy Premier League, love giving some tips. I try to do my best. I never claim to be an expert, but I just find these videos very fun to make. And I actually had a very good game week. So in this video, I'm going to take you through my game week 9 team, the transfers that I made for game week 10, my wish fear list that's coming up, going to talk about that game week 12 blank for City and Arsenal, as well as captaincy options. So I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm seeing. And here we are, my game week 9. So I ended on 90 points. This is finally like the best game week that I've had so far. Finally a good one because I've been right around the average, if not a little bit below. Average was 68, hit 90, and that was mostly due to Erling Haaland just being an absolute monster and captaining him. But I think most people captain him. 83.3% owned. What is the other 17% that doesn't own him doing? But I think this might be the most ownership that I've ever seen in fantasy. And at this point, I think he's just a must own. Like, this guy's just bananas. 14 goals and 3 assists in 9 games already. Like, we are only in October. This is absolutely mad. And he's also gotten a goal contribution every single game for City. He was also rested. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys can hear that massive horn, but it was very loud on my end. He was taken off at halftime versus Copenhagen, so I think that that's also a positive sign that he is going to be starting this next Premier League game. But really, the big one for me was James Madison, 15% ownership, got 18 points. I told you guys to bring him in, 2 goals and an assist versus Nottingham Forest, and he has very favorable fixtures coming up, and Kieran Trippier doing me some good as well. So looking at my team, I really wanted to strengthen my midfield a little bit more, and I wanted to make some room in my defense in order to have some extra points, some extra money in there. So what I did was that I transferred Kufal out for Nico Williams. I did take a -4 to do this, but I wanted to get Phil Foden in. Why? I know that City are blanking in just 2 game weeks, so maybe it was not the smartest of choices, but only 13% owned, and he already has 5 goals and 3 assists in 9 matches, so that's basically a goal contribution every match. And if you look here, he's only blanked in 3 game weeks. Like, game week 1, game week 3, and game week 6. And he's not even playing full 90 minutes, and he's still getting a goal contribution. So for me, I was willing to take the bit of a risk on Phil Foden. I'm typically like pretty hesitant about owning City players, but I think that they have been doing well in the Champions League, and him and Erling Haaland really seem to have developed like a very good chemistry and understanding with one another. So I'm hoping that that link up play pays off for me. So this is my team. I have Henderson in goal. This is an area that I'm thinking about changing. I don't want to do a double Newcastle, but maybe getting in Guat. I can't say his name. Guyala from Crystal Palace. I'm kind of just sticking with it for now. I like my back 3, but I am weary of the Man City and Arsenal blank in game week 12. I like my midfield. I pretty much like my attack. I'm looking at Ivan Toney, and well, I'll tell you guys about the players that I kind of have on my wish list that I'm thinking of bringing in. So first off, if we look at this fixture difficulty rating, we can see that both Arsenal and Man City blank in game week 12, which is not good for many of us, because if you're like me, you own a lot of City and Arsenal players. So right now I own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 between the 2 teams. So obviously I need to make some changes before then. So my idea basically is this. Man City in the next game week, they play Liverpool. So I might sell Cancelo for like a 2-3 week bunt and then bring him back in for this Leicester, Fulham, Brentford fixture. And then for Arsenal as well, I I really like this Leeds fixture, so maybe I'll sell Martinelli ahead of game week 12, but I also do really like these fixtures. But I am thinking about bringing Bowen in maybe for this Bournemouth fixture, Liverpool. I still need to think about it, but this game week 12 is really messing me up. I don't want to take my free hit yet because I feel like there's going to be some double game weeks later in the game where I'm going to want to free hit and just try to get as many points as possible with the teams that have a double game week. So I'm going to sell at least one. Right now I'm leaning more towards Cancelo and then maybe Martinelli as well, depending on how the players do in the next week or two. So for me, I think I'm thinking of replacing Cancelo with Mings from Aston Villa. So they would play Chelsea, but then they have pretty okay fixtures: Fulham, Brentford, and then maybe here's where I already bring Cancelo back into the team. I also really am looking to bring Trossard in from Brighton. I think that he could be a really good midfield option. Obviously got a hat-trick last week, so I'm trying to find the money for him. I like this Nottingham Forest fixture a lot. Even this Brentford fixture looks pretty nice. Then he has two not so nice fixtures, and then Wolves and Aston Villa. And so just taking a look, I'll just bring up the players that I mentioned quickly. So Mings here, only 4.3, so I would definitely get a lot of money in the bank from bringing him in. They've only kept 2 clean sheets so far, but the fixtures are looking a little bit nicer as well. And they have 2 clean sheets from their last 2 games, which I think is pretty positive. And then Trossard, Brighton are just incredible. Like only 10% on 6.7, so a little bit more expensive maybe than Martinelli. 5 goals and 2 assists already. Obviously got a hat trick versus Liverpool. I think that this is just absolutely massive. So he's kind of on my wish list. And then the other person that I'm thinking about is Callum Wilson from Newcastle. He was out injured for all of this chunk of time. But if we just look at the games where he wasn't injured, he played 4 games to only 69 minutes, and he scored 3 goals in those 4 games. So scoring in 75% of the games, I really like those odds. Also, well, he's the same price as Ivan Toney, so that would be a like for like swap for me. But I'm really looking at what I'm going to do for game week 12. So it's not the biggest priority for me right now, but it's something that I'm kind of keeping in my mind. So ideally, I want to try to transfer out Martinelli for Trossard or Bowen, and Cancelo maybe take a punt and try to figure out how I can have enough money to bring him back in my team, maybe downgrading Zinchenko eventually. Going to sit on it, think about it, but that's kind of what I'm planning to do in the future. As for captaincy, I think you just have to captain Erling Haaland. He better be in your team, and if he's in your team, I just think that you have to captain him. Like I said, he was taken off at halftime versus Copenhagen. Let me just check Man City fixtures to see who they're playing. They play Copenhagen again, so that's going to be a fairly straightforward game for them midweek. So I do think that Erling Haaland is going to get plenty of minutes, and this guy's just scoring no matter the minutes that he gets. It's just like ridiculous. So right now, my captain's armband is on Erling Haaland. I just feel like you can't put it on anyone else, because if Haaland scores big, which he tends to do, then you're just going to lose points. And I have my vice captain on Madison versus Bournemouth, which I think is also like a very favorable fixture. So this is my team. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I would love to maybe have Bowen or Trossard in instead of Toney and kind of have a 3-5-2 going on in here. But this is what it is for now. So yeah, hope that you liked this video. Hope that it was a little bit helpful to kind of have my ideas, my thought process, and I'll keep you guys updated, of course, over the next week or so about what I decide to do for that Man City and Arsenal blank that's coming up. Let me know who's a must own in your team, who you're captaining. All of that. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.